Anthony Ferraro, Dan Mancina. Two blind guys collide to bring you Four Bad Eyes Podcast.
Okay, eyes and ears. Welcome back.
Howdy.
Welcome back to Four Bad Eyes Podcast.
This is the podcast for all your needs.
Abilities and for all visual abilities.
Yeah.
Including, well, all of them.
We're blind, but we still have vision.
Yeah, I may have lost my sight, but through my blindness, I gained a vision.
That's right.
They recognize that line from my Red Bull piece back in 2000 and I don't even know.
Hootie hoo!
My mom saw that. She's like, "Oh my God, Dan, really?"
Oh, man.
Yep.
Speaking of moms, I got my amazing mother-in-law staying over this weekend.
Oh, the old in-law.
The
Staying
old
at the
in-law.
casa.
Thankfully, I have good in-laws. I hear horror stories of
Yeah, I got good ones. Yeah.
bad in-laws, and I just
Yeah, it can be bad.
did not have to experience that. Tell us send in your in-law stories.
Hey, give me the worst in-law story. What whose baby is at your house?
It's my nephew. It's Kelly's sister, Karis, her baby, who is actually married to one of my best friends growing up, and it's just so weird how it happened, and that kid, his kid is my nephew. It's really crazy how it all happened, you know.
Dang. Small town, eh?
And now this kid, yeah, but been having a 1.5-year-old here for sporadically for a couple days here and there.
Yeah.
And he's awesome.
Little taste of that dad life, dude.
He's teaching him how to shred today.
Did you hold him by his ankles?
No, I was holding him by his hands.
No, when just pick him up.
Hang him upside down. I was I do this thing with them where I'm like, 1, 2, 3, jump, and I have him held up the whole time, but I throw him up when I say jump, and he gets so stoked.
Did you do it on the skateboard too, for $10?
Yeah, I did.
Hold their hand, you put your foot on the board.
He's crushing it too. He was he picked up the skateboard today by himself because he's been on it before here, and he just got on his butt, started kick turning around the house.
Oh, sick! Yeah.
It was nuts. And then we showed him how to stand up, and now that's all he wants to do
on the skateboard.
There's a little mattress in the guest room.
Yeah,
there was skate decks on it, and he just got on the mattress and started standing on the skate decks.
Sick! There you go. That's tight. Cool. I used to cruise around the bowl with my kid when he was 1.5 or something like that.
Really?
Yeah, I hold in my arms and pump around the bowl.
Oh man, that's cool. Yeah, I one thing I worry about having a kid too is dude, it happened once where I accidentally bumped into him because I didn't see him there, and he just falls over.
Yeah,
he's crying. I'm like, come on, man, my bad.
Not as easy as a dog. You just fucking...
Yeah, and then they just think you're a dick. They don't get it.
Yeah. I'm sure he's learned now.
Yeah. There's so many different stages too when they're growing up, the questions they could ask. It's happening with my nieces and nephews. My nephew will be he'll try to do things around me where he'll be quiet and try to you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just see what he can get away with. And he's like, how'd you know I was there?
Yeah. My nieces do that too.
Yeah.
Try to mess with you.
It's too innocent to get upset about, though. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure. Can't you get glasses? I had little kids ask me that. Why don't you just get glasses?
My eyes fake.
That's funny.
Oh man.
Chicky chicky boom boom.
What else? Dude.
Back going to a bachelor party this weekend.
Oh yeah, what are you guys gonna do? Oh,
bull riding, baby.
Bull riding.
Gonna do some bull riding.
Dude,
my buddy Clay.
Is it?
He likes that cowboy life.
He's marrying Heather's sister, right?
Yeah.
Damn. Is
I'm the
he a
best man. I
cowboy?
gotta write a best man speech, dude. Nervous.
You're the best man?
Yeah, I don't have
Oh,
anything written.
dude, that's an honor.
It's an honor.
It
Honor and
is, though.
privilege.
It says a lot about like you as a person usually.
Yeah. Me and Clay are tight. Yeah.
That's sick.
Spent a lot of time together.
So did you plan the weekend?
Yeah, the bull riding was my idea. I was like, because he's like, yeah, all about that life.
He's a cowboy. Has he
Like
ever been
driving,
bull
he likes
riding?
driving a big truck, a loud big truck.
Has he ever been bull riding?
No, no. I'm the only one who's been bull riding. Everyone's.
Wait, where did you go bull riding?
I went bull riding, like.
Were you blind or sighted?
I was blind.
Totally blind? Seeing like
No, not total. This was when like 95% blind.
Okay, yeah.
It was like after I did that Red Bull piece, actually.
Oh, okay. The tennis court stuff, right?
Yeah, all that stuff.
Yeah, okay.
It was probably like 6 months after that. So this had to be, I don't even know what, 7, 8 years ago now? Holy crap, yeah. Dude. But yeah, it was intense, dude.
What were your thoughts like going there? Wait, so how did it happen? Why
Going
did
there,
you do it?
So it's in LA. We got hooked up through, it was the same ranch, Gary LeFew. He's like
the guy from Jackass.
Yeah, he's the guy he filmed all the Jackass stuff.
Like he trained Knoxville, like to do the bull.
He's like an ex-world champion and stuff like that. And then his son Judd was there. Who's a bull. He's like, I think
you're not an ex-world. I think you're just always a world champion.
A world champion, my bad, Gary.
One time I said, he was an Olympian, and the one guy took me aside. Hey, once you're an Olympian, you're always an Olympian. I was like, oh shit, I'm so sorry.
Actually, dude, under here, this is the glove I'm holding up that I wore.
Shut up.
I always take a piece of little memorabilia that I can have from.
So you have to wear gloves?
Yeah, this is just like pretty much a freaking garden glove, but they have like full leather gloves because you're holding the rope with your hand.
Where's the rope tied to?
The bowl's like around its belly. So they wrap it all tight so your hand's snug in there.
What does a bowl look like?
And then you use your left hand. If you're right-handed, use your opposite hand to hold. Because you're supposed to use your dominant hand for like balance and hold that up in the air.
Okay. That's weird.
And then like what else?
I would really want to hold it with my dominant hand.
Right. That's what I thought. And then
and you know how you're lefty for some things but righty for others sometimes? So it's like, what if you think you're righty for it but you're actually lefty?
Yeah, dude. But no, what else?
Wait, so what did you have to dress in?
Well, I was just in like a hoodie and jeans, and then we like did a scene change. We filmed like this pilot thing to try to get a show. So like I switched into like.
Who did you do it with?
My buddy Zach Warren. Okay. He's the same one who filmed the Red Bull piece and like.
Oh, he filmed the Red Bull piece?
Yeah. Him and his buddy Cheeto, they call him.
Cheeto.
But they Cheeto's awesome. He's worked like doing film and stuff like that like forever. He's still
like bull riding or just pilots?
No, just like working for companies to create content for them, whether it be like commercials or photo shoots or like whatever. It'd be like a weed company or like a any clothing company. It's like Adidas. He worked for like Adidas contract and all this stuff. But so we wanted to film this pilot, try to get this show. And then called Blind Ambition, it was called, and this was like the first. I was like, dude, I want to try bull riding. It's like, all right, let me look into.
What made you want to try bull riding? Was it Jackass or like you just?
No, I don't know.
One day you're sitting there taking your morning dump, and you're like, I want to go bull riding.
It just sounded like intense, like something I just wanted to do because I wanted to do like a cool stunt for each episode. So it'd be like that, and like I want to do like a solo skydive and like.
Oh man,
we had like a whole list.
Solo skydive,
dude. Solo skydive out on the plane with like earpiece, guide you down. Would be sick. That'd be totally doable.
That'd be totally fucking probably the scariest thing I would ever do in my life. Like hands down.
Yeah, waiting for the ground to come.
Yeah, dude.
Like, all right, it's about you got like 30 feet, 50 feet, 10 feet, 10 feet.
No, dude, like diving off the plane by yourself.
Yeah.
And then you realize you're alone, just fucking falling, and you can't see shit.
Dude, yeah, that'd be intense. Yeah. But then I was like, yeah, let's try bull riding. He's like, all right. We were kind of thinking of a couple things, like, should we try the skydiving? And he called this ranch, got a hold of them, and they hooked us up. Like the dudes hooked it up, dude. And rented the ranch for the day. Like no insurance or anything like that, you know? So show up. Like it was we left from LA. It was like I think it was like a couple hour drive or something like that. I can't remember the city it was in, dude. It was out in like
Oh, it was like eastern LA or something.
yeah, probably like northeast or something like
Okay.
that. Yeah. I was out in the boonies of California, dude.
Yeah, dude, you're on a
Just
ranch.
open farm, just all farmland, you know.
Did you have your cowboy hat?
I had like the full cheesy Amazon kit, you know. I did buy a nice Western shirt from like this Gucci store.
Sick.
I talked about the Western store on here before. Scott
Yeah,
Colbert. Yeah. I had like a nice shirt, just some like black Levi's, cheap boots, and a cheesy hat, you know.
Oh.
And yeah, what did I ask?
Like, bring me through
The
it.
shirt had like
into
the
ranch.
shirt had red on. I'm like, can I have red? Because he always
Oh,
like, you can't have red.
man.
And he's like, no, it's not. They're actually not
Color.
attracted to colors. It's more.
colorblind.
He said it's more movement that they're attracted to.
Oh, the blanket like moving.
Yeah, so
Like
that's
the
why
nature.
you'll see the clowns out there. They'll be like waving their hat.
Is that what
Like-
they're actually called? Rodeo clowns?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah,
Is it?
yeah,
All right.
yeah. Yeah, I'm pretty
I
sure.
thought they were just cowboys.
So, yeah, some of them are cowboys. Some of them are just straight up crazy rodeo clowns, dude. Hanging out in the barrel, just chilling in the barrel, dude. You know that they hide in the barrels on the course,
What?
and then when the bull guy pops off, they jump out of the barrel.
No way.
You know that?
No.
Isn't that funny? Because they're like hiding. You know?
I don't even know what a bull looks like. I know it has horns. Is it like a cow?
God, dude.
Dude,
it's a
don't
male.
hate on me.
A cow is what you're thinking of a cow is a female cow.
Bull, right?
A bull is a male. I don't think it's cow. What is it, cattle or something? I don't know.
So it's
But
because a steer. Yeah, no, because
steer-
a steer
yeah.
is a bull with its nuts cut off or something.
Maybe I don't know.
Yes, some guy was
Possibly.
explaining this to me the other day.
That makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's a term for each one, but
Okay, so
The
a bull
one you
is
get-
like a
the one you get milk from is black and white,
Yes,
and
that's
the
the
female
cow.
version.
And the masculine version is the
The male version,
yeah, the male version is the
yeah, it has horns.
yeah.
That's just male. Yeah,
Damn. Okay.
and they're huge,
like a ton.
like huge. A ton, 2,000 pounds, may probably. I would think. I don't know. I can't tell you weight. I have no fucking.
What is a bull? Do they make sounds?
Oh yeah, they're loud. As soon as we got to the ranch, it's the first thing you hear. Just
No way, dude.
freaking. I'm like,
Sounds like a
oh
fucking
man.
dinosaur.
And we're all hanging out by the fences. I'm like, dude, what do these things look like? They're like, Dan, I don't know, dude. These things are big, dude. I don't know about. Everyone's kind of freaking out, dude.
How many people did you roll up with? 3?
It was me, Zach, another filmer, Mike
Cheeto?
Morosco, Zach's girlfriend at the time, and I think one other person who was doing like sound and stuff like that.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Like a little mini production, like
Yeah.
2 cameras, sound,
Dude, that's nuts.
and like,
So you
dude,
roll
yeah.
up to this ranch.
So we roll up, we meet Gary and everything. They're super cool, really chill. And there's some other guys like riding. You can go there and like ride like $5 a ride or something like that. So there's like guys practicing, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And like watch a little bit of that. Then like we did like little interviews with Gary. Oh, I forgot my buddy, fucking Sean McNulty and Mike Guffey. 2 buddies were there too,
Okay.
as like supporting characters. You know what I mean?
yeah.
So like
yeah.
I trained, freaking air quotes trained was like, they have this giant teeter. It's a barrel on a teeter totter, literally. So you hop up there, and like he's just going back and forth with it. It's like when it goes down, you like lean all the way forward,
Okay.
When it goes up in the air, you lean all the way back, straight in your back.
Okay, yeah.
Getting used to that
I
rocking
can
thing.
picture that, yeah.
But he's like, more forward. Like, you got to lean all the way
Man.
back and
Like to
forth.
where you thought you were going to fall off?
Yeah. Well, not quite. It was like,
Mm-hmm.
it's only like one pivot, just up and down. So
Right.
it just like raises you up. You got to straighten up to hold on and then lean forward to not fall. And then there was one other.
So this
I think there was just like a saddle thing to sit on. He was showing me how to like sit on it and stuff.
This is before you even got to go over to the bowls.
I mean, yeah, they were like running around and stuff.
Right.
And then like so I sitting on the barrel or just sit on the thing. He shows me how to like properly sit and what hand and holding and all that stuff. And then the stupid barrel thing. And then he's like, all right, you ready to ride? We're like, what? That was it? And they interview Sean and Mike.
That's great training.
Sean and Mike the whole interviews are hilarious. They're like, dude, that was not like, that's it. That's all we did. Like, oh my God. And then like, I did this other intro thing with all the bowls. They were like, Cheeto was like rallying them up. So I would like say my intro. Then they all like stampede behind me, like run by. And Judd comes running out. What the fuck are you doing? Hey, what? Those are $100,000 cattle. Don't be running them like that.
$100,000 a cattle.
Yeah, he's like, dude. Yeah, the main big bulls are like expensive.
That's nuts. And they're all just running.
And we're just running them, just fucking fucking them all. It's like not good. But and then finally it comes down to like we were fighting the sunset too. We had to do this all in one day, and the sun was going down. Like, all right, we were like rushing. Get set up.
Very nervous.
No, they're chill.
Okay.
They're like, that's what they do.
Yeah.
They're just like, dude.
He's probably just like, yeehaw, let's go.
Dude, Judd was hyped up. He was getting me all hyped up. He was like, come on, Danimal. You're ready, dude. Come on. He called me Danimal.
That was a yogurt.
It was funny. Yeah, Danimals. Yeah. Is that what was it? Danimal?
Yeah, Danimals.
And so I wear like full protective, like a full like Jofa hockey helmet with a face.
Oh, so the hat had to come off.
Hat had to come off. Face shield. You can ride with no helmet. Mike rode with no helmet.
Oh my God.
And then then you wear like this. It feels like a bulletproof vest, but it's hard to protect your chest and back.
And your organs.
Organs in your back, so if you don't get freaking blasted, yeah. Had the chest on, comes down to like walking. I walk up these like sketchy little metal stairs because you got to get up to sit on top of the bull. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So then it's like you're on top of the gate.
It's that big that you have to walk up like.
It's like 5 stairs. Or
Okay.
Yeah, 6 stairs maybe. Jeez. Go up. This is a platform to get you up to get on top of the bull. You know what I mean? So the bull's back is like level with the platform. So you just step right onto the bull's back.
Right.
So I sit on this thing, dude, and it was literally the most like adrenaline rush I've ever felt in my life. Just my brain just flooded my body and to where like I couldn't even think, dude. Like I could have.
Were you electric?
Dude, if I was like running or something, I would have passed out for sure.
Oh my God.
Like I was like overload, dude. I was like, oh my God.
Was it from the second you sat down?
As soon as I sat down, because that's when like you feel this freaking beast on you. It's like lungs expanding and breathing.
Oh, you could feel it just moving.
And then you feel like it's like hide on its back, and you're like sitting on it. You feel its spine. You know what I mean? It's like, oh my God, this is it got real.
Oh, it's
real
not
quick.
A comfy seat.
No, it's very
bony.
And this one, to be fair, this was like a baby bull, not baby, but it was like a big. There's like different levels of bulls. Mm-hmm. So there was like a kid who was like 7 years old riding this bull earlier.
Savage.
So there's like less aggressive ones that aren't like out of the gate, just don't go crazy. You know what I mean?
Who brings their 7-year-old bull ride?
It was Judd's kid.
Oh, okay.
He was getting ready. The kid was terrified. He's like, come on, get on there, come on. Like get him off.
Get on there, Danimal.
He lasts a couple seconds, the little kid just pops off and runs away. Like crazy. Like that's just the lifestyle.
Wait, so all right, so you get on it.
I sit on this thing.
Going.
They're tying my hand up. Judd's like, come on, Danimal, you're ready. Come on, Dan, well, you got it. Come on. Everyone's like, yeah, Dan, come on. I'm like, oh my God, what did I get myself into, dude?
Like that reality moment.
Couldn't even think, dude. And I felt like before I sat in, I did the wrong thing of feeling its horns. And like, dude,
no.
thicker than a Louisville Slugger bat. I couldn't even like get my hand like maybe halfway around the width of this freaking.
Did you feel the point?
Yeah, like just felt like the whole horn, and then like grabbed like the thick base part, and I was like, oh my God. It was intense. Tie the thing up. Like, are you ready? You ready? You ready? I was like, yeah, just go. Come on, man. And gate opens, and just like I said, it didn't like come out of the gate like straight bucking. It kind of like it almost. My memory, like, is like it like starting kind of slow, like a slow buck, and then getting faster and faster. And like I lasted maybe like a few seconds the first ride. Plop off and land. It's like the super soft, like 6 inches of just like dirt dust stuff you land in. So it's like soft landing, and like another flood of like just intense freaking adrenaline and just everything pumping through my system. I was like, I plop off, and I was really scared of when I fall. Like, where the hell do I go?
That's what I would be terrified, dude.
But Judd was out there, like he's distracting the bull. So once you fall off, it's like that's that.
What do they do to distract it?
They just take their hat. They like wave their hat and like have it chase after them. Oh, yeah, they'll go after anything kind of moving. Wow. Is the idea?
They're vicious.
Yeah, dude. Fall.
Wait, so you fell? Were you done after that?
I got off. Yeah, I ran to the voices. Like, over here. You're good.
What were you thinking? All right.
Right after that, I was like, dude, I was hyped. I was like, dude, let's go. I want to go again. I want to rock this again. And I wanted to get the 8 seconds.
Is that the goal? 8 seconds?
Yeah. Once you make 8, then I think it's all off. I think it's like style, your form, like everything. Then they like judge you like that off of it. But you got to make the 8.
Damn.
I know nothing about bull riding. Like the few times I've seen it on TV. So like get off, and then everyone's like, dude, they were like, everyone's hyped, you know what I mean? Like cheering and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Get off, and John's like, you did it, man. Patted me on the back, and then go up the thing and freaking got on it again. It went like round 2, and that time I made my 8 seconds, like barely. That one out, it wasn't that intense. It's really intense still. But the feeling, the thing that really got me was when I sat down on that
first time. And
you feel like, oh, this is a living animal.
Yeah, it's breathing underneath.
This thing will kill me, dude.
Easily.
And I was like, I was really confused at how I thought it was going to be really wide up there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I would think maybe because it was a smaller, maybe the bigger ones must be a little wider, but it was very hard to balance, even just like sitting on it up there. You know what I mean? I was like, oh my God, this is so unsturdy, dude. There's no saddle or anything. You know what I mean? That was really surprising.
I want to know what your thought process was. Like, what were your emotions when you would fall off the bull? Like the first time you fell off the bull.
Get the hell out of there.
Run to the homies.
Yeah, just get out of there. Like, get safe.
How terrifying was that moment, though? Was that
wasn't
scary,
that bad.
Or were you
that wasn't that scary because I trusted that. I know Judd had it like handled. You know what I mean? He's like, because that's what I kept asking him. He's like, don't even worry about that. Like, he's not gonna go after you. Like, you're good. Trust
he's convinced. Like, he's like, that's not what I thought.
Yeah. Because if there's someone in front of that bull, like they can distract him. You know what I mean?
Wow, dude.
So I go the second time I fell off though, like I landed sideways, like left knee bent, like butt almost on the ground, and my right leg was like the inside of my knee was touching the ground, and like the inside of my ankle, and the bull stepped on my boot right on my ankle. But thank God it was like soft dirt, you know what I mean? Otherwise would have just crushed my freaking foot, dude. But that was kind of sketchy. I was like, whoa, that was weird. Didn't think about it. And I was like sore a little bit later, but that was the only thing. But then my buddies rode. Did they ride that bull?
Did you ride again after that?
I rode twice, and then
not a third time.
Not a third. I wanted to, but it got dark. Like we were chasing that.
Yeah.
That money shot, but
oh, isn't gold.
They rode like a a little more aggressive bowl. They asked me if I wanted to ride that one. I was like, no, let's ride this one again. I got scared. I should have did that one, dude.
Oh man, well, what are you gonna do this weekend, dude?
Dude, I don't know. I'm terrified, dude. I'm scared.
Are you really? Even though you've
Yeah.
done it before? Because
Yeah,
it's not
I'm
genuine.
scared when I sit on that thing again. It's all gonna come back, dude. Like, oh my God.
Oh, well, it's not a few too, so I'm wondering if like this person's gonna be as chill.
I know,
Like,
dude.
get this blind boy out of here.
I don't know if they're gonna be chill. Yeah, who knows what they're gonna say.
Listen, son, if you got a cane, you can't ride no bowl.
We'll have to see. I did it without the cane, and I should have. Judd's like, oh, I should do it with the cane, man. You just whack him with that thing if he comes after you. I was like, what?
Judd.
They're like straight up cowboys, dude. For real.
Dude, that's some serious California cowboy shit.
Dude, it was intense, man. That was unreal, though. But I mean, afterwards, dude, I was so hyped for like 5 hours. I was like,
You can't sleep.
I was the most confident, like stoked, just like hyped.
You felt like you could take over the world.
Yeah, dude. I was like, dude, I want a bull ride, dude. It was sick. Hopefully, it's that same
You
feeling.
gotta go running with the bulls, dude.
No, dude. That's probably the most badass bull they can find, I'll bet.
Jimmy LaFew, he's like the best. Like he's some of the best too. So like, it wasn't like tomorrow or this weekend could just be some like dinky little ranch. You know what I mean? Like some little
Yeah, I'm
like.
curious what it'll be like. Yeah, Gary gave us, like, I got his whole story. I forget what book he said he read a book about like, it's like mindfulness and something like that. A really popular book. I can't remember the title. He said I read that book and said that changed my riding.
Is it called The Secret?
No, I don't think it was that one. Something on that level though.
Yeah. The 4 agreements.
I have no idea. I wouldn't even know it if he
I
said
was
it.
thinking of all. The
But
deep ones.
he's like, yeah, there was a time there where like I couldn't fall. I wouldn't fall. He's like, I was so locked in. That was pretty cool.
Damn, that's crazy.
Yeah, it was way harder than I thought. I thought it was gonna be like nice and wide and sturdy up there. Like, no, dude, you were like teeter-tottering on this bull's spine, pretty much, like back and forth and forward and back.
I want to go
Or side to side.
riding.
Yeah, that's super fun. My dad used to have horses.
Really?
Really ride. Yeah, it was cool. A lot of work though. And my dad used to have a nice prop before he moved up north. Oh, he had him up north for a bit.
Damn.
And then he got rid of them.
Horses.
He had 4 of their own, and then they would
Boredom.
board a couple to like pay for all the hay.
Would you take care of them, the horses?
No, I would only go visit a couple days or something like that. Yeah.
Did your parents split when you were young?
Yeah, super young. I was like, yeah, I don't remember.
Oh, really?
4 or something like that. Maybe 5.
Do you feel like it affected you even though you don't remember it?
Somewhat, yeah, for sure. I never like cared about it. You know what I mean? So I don't get like bummed on stuff like that. Like my other brothers, it hit them harder, and they like still resent and have some resentment and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But, like I don't really care. But that definitely made me more calloused in life of like relationships and stuff like that. Like if I break a relationship off, like it doesn't like affect me like it does other people. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like whatever. It's a bad thing.
Oh man.
But
Yeah, I feel that. Was it weird going to like each parent's house, like like trade?
no, that was always normal. I
Or it
always
seems just
enjoyed it.
normal?
Yeah, it was normal. Yeah.
Well, you're
Felt-
the youngest too, so for the older brothers, it makes sense.
Yeah.
Like weird.
My dad wasn't around that much, as much when we were really little. And then, I think the older we got, I always remember we would always go up north with my dad.
What did he do?
Fishing and stuff. He's a cop. He's a retired cop,
Oh, okay.
lieutenant.
Damn. Lieutenant.
Yeah. No, was he corporal? I think he made lieutenant.
Lieutenant Mancina.
Lieutenant Mancina, East Detroit Police Department.
Ooh, that's serious.
He was yeah, they call him Tasman. Yeah.
Why?
He's just crazy Italian dude. Yeah.
Don't mess with Uncle Lou.
Uncle Lou, I have an Uncle Lou.
I know.
He was he was the maniac who like dropped out of school and stuff, but started his ended up opening a mechanic's shop. Oh, oh,
Whoa!
that's the alarm, dude.
Is
That's the alarm.
is that what I think it is?
Yes, it is.
Oh,
That's the clusive alarm. Clusive, CLUSIV.io.
yo.
Clusive, what is Clusive, Anthony?
Clusive is an online platform made by and for the blind and visually impaired. And do you know what
Literally
it does,
created,
Dan?
developed by the visually impaired for the visually impaired.
Do
It
you know what
helps
it does?
train blind people to get better jobs, dude, gainful employment, make almost 2 times the amount that the average blind person makes.
2 times? That's almost double.
1.8, baby, times more the salary. And they're dope remote jobs, working from home, from your computer.
Do
You
you
can
know
learn
how
how to use
sick it
that
is to
computer.
work remote?
It's the best, dude. It's the best. And it does, and for doing interviews online, 86% of interviews are done remotely nowadays.
That's almost 100%, Dan.
That's almost 100%. Inclusive is the only one who actually provides training in that area. So learn how to use all these applications, learn how to interview, learn how to nail that job. And if
get
you're an
more money.
employer, you can
Yep.
also get training in how to hire, how to have a blind person on your workforce,
How to talk to them.
how to
what
talk
to
to them.
say. What not to say.
Treat us normal.
Yeah.
Yes.
We can get jobs too. I don't want to make $5 an hour.
Nope. I don't want to work in the.
I don't want to
factory.
get paid half a wage.
Nope. I want to
I
work.
don't want to be treated like a disability person.
Yeah.
I want to be normal.
Baby. Inclusive. Check it out. Hit that link. Give it a view. CLUSIV.io.
Yo, maximize your monies.
Love Inclusive. Big stuff happening with them.
Yeah. And click that link. Click it.
Click it. Talking with Luke today, CEO.
How did that go?
Big stuff happening, man. Yeah.
Oh, really? Are they able to announce yet?
Not yet. He's going to hit me up, but yes. Thank you for sponsoring the podcast. We much appreciate it.
Thank you.
Lukey and the whole Inclusive team, baby. I am personally a part of Inclusive. Did you know that?
I did know that.
I've been with them from the beginning. I literally helped him in the very beginning, help develop the ideas and create and everything. So
I'm a proud supporter.
Cool. Yes, I have a lot invested. I love that company. Luke is he really cares about what he does, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Good, but yes. What was I talking about?
You know what happened to me? Speaking of like blind and stuff, my the person who gave me my very first cane passed away a couple months.
Betsy?
No, his name was
Betsy?
Joe Ruffalo.
Oh, this guy went to court with you and stuff?
Yeah, dude.
Oh, he passed away?
Yeah, and like I found out, like, dude, I was talking to him. It must have been like 2 years ago, but it felt like yesterday. You know what I mean? Like I was talking to him on the phone, and then this guy was a very big impact in my life. Like if he didn't do what he did, like my life would look very different.
Yeah.
And that guy was like a freaking. He was like the Godfather, dude. Like that Italian ass, like American, like just word of advice. Anytime you needed something, like you needed advice on something, you called Joe and he'd be like, listen, it's okay. You just keep going.
He was blind, right?
Yeah, he was blind. I think I think his brother was a Paralympian, but he was the president of the NFB for New Jersey for 27 years, I think, or 17 or 27 years. This guy was incredible, dude. I'll never forget.
He helped
at Camp Marcella. He gave me my first cane ever. I still have it.
He helped fight for your rights and to get you to
party.
To party as well as get you in the school in New Jersey, right?
No, so what he did was at first they wanted me to go to the public school in my town.
Right. You wanted to get
they wanted me to get like 2 hours a week of Braille training.
Yeah.
And thought that was like sufficient enough.
Yeah.
And my parents were like, this, like they talked to a lot of specialists and they're like, this is not, like, he's gonna be so slow and like won't be able to function, you know. And my parents found the like best school they could find. It was the school, St. Lucie Day School, and it was like the most incredible thing that ever happened to me going there.
Yeah.
And it was for only blind and visually impaired, so like no other disabilities. So you're only learning with those types of peers too. So like
Yeah.
at the same
Because
pace.
blindness takes specialized training. Yeah.
Yeah, and a lot of times blindness is paired with other disabilities, like you know, just
Yeah,
different. Like,
all learning disabilities and stuff. Yeah.
exactly. So this was, you know, minus that, and they would integrate you with like into the. They were always affiliated with a sighted school, so you would get to go like once you were like trained well enough and like independent enough, you can walk over there for a couple classes a week to like be able to
Gotcha.
have classes with sighted people. So that was really good. And my parents found that school. They started sending me there, but the state of New Jersey would not provide transportation to the school in Philadelphia for each day. So because they said that Braille training was good enough at the public school, so then my mom and I had to live in an apartment. I'm the youngest of 5, and like all my siblings freaking, you know, my dad works 2 hours away. My siblings are all like growing up, and my mom and I had to live in an apartment during the weeks and then come home on the weekends so I could go to this school in Philly. And while this was going on, there was a court case fighting for me to be able to get transportation from the state of New Jersey. And it was just nonstop, like all these people coming in saying like, I didn't need this. This was unnecessary. Like 2 hours a week was fine. Like,
really,
dude, it was unreal. Like, even to the point where the guy, Joe Ruffalo's brother, who was a part of NFB, said that would be fine. And Joe was like, whoa, no way. And like he got all these people, dude, it was it was in the newspapers and stuff, and like there were like doctors, like specialists coming to the freaking court and stuff, like so many that I'm still connected to, like to this day, because they've done so much for me, like in that point in my life.
Yeah.
And you know, my mom and dad, I really owe it to, because they would find these people too. And then you know, the case kind of went viral in terms of like there was no internet back then, really, so it was like a lot of newspaper and stuff and news sources, and people were reaching out, like supporting and all this stuff, and like the NFB was involved, everything, and it was crazy. And then my dad called. Someone said you got to call Joe Ruffalo. That's the guy. And my dad, because my dad was trying to figure it out, you know, and like he's like, all right. So he calls Joe Ruffalo. He's like, it tells him what's going on. He's like, I already know. He's like, I see it all going on. He's like, I've been following the case, you know, like, you know, like he's like, I know who you are, like right away. My dad was like, Joe, this is both for. I know who you are, like literally. And he was like, he said, well, you know, your brother's saying this. My brother doesn't know anything, or like, you know, he said something like that, like, and he's
brother don't know nothing.
Yeah, my brother don't know nothing, and he's like, my dad's like, well, can you come to court, you know, and like talk on Anthony's behalf? And he's like, I'll pick you up. He's like, no, you don't pick me up. Let me know where the court is, and I'll meet you there. He took the train into Philly, freaking bosses out, like, you know, gets there. And he goes to my dad. He's like, Bo, show me exactly where I gotta walk, exactly where I'm gonna speak, so I have it mapped out, so I look real confident going up there, like I've done this 1,000 times. Like this guy just had it down, dude.
Yeah.
Like, this is the guy that goes, you know, stop wasting your time putting the toothpaste on the brush. Just pop it in your mouth. He's this guy, you know, and like, so he goes up there and he like says his whole bit, dude, and he like blew them all away, you know, like he's such a militant, like blind guy, and he just threw facts and like all these laws at him and shit, and like he just tore him up, like he made people come to our side basically, like it was crazy. And then it just kind of all after that, like, we won the court case. I was able to. So then I started going to school from Jersey to Philly every day, back and forth. So like I'd leave at like 6 a.m. I get home at like 4:30, and that's then also they gave my mom from the court case from all like the hassle that because it took like 2-3 years of
Yeah.
us like living in Philly during the school year on the
Mm-hmm.
weekdays, and they said for like all the like inconvenience whatever they Pennsylvania College of Optometry reached out and were like, we want to give you a full scholarship like to do
Oh,
your master's.
sick.
So that's where she ended up becoming an orientational mobility instructor.
Ah,
Yeah, so that's how it all fell together. I remember my mom, like, it was incredible, dude. My mom didn't even know how to use a freaking computer. And
yeah.
this whole thing was like a lot of it was online and stuff, and she had to learn the internet. Like I remember her like getting really stressed out,
Yeah,
dude.
yeah.
She did it. Like it was
Did you guys
amazing.
get closer when you lived with, because it was just you and her during the
Yeah,
week?
we were super close.
Yeah. That's kind of a cool time to think
I'll
about.
never forget this one memory of like so I used to have to take a there was a cab that would pick me up in Philly and take me to school every morning and then drop me
Mm-hmm.
back off after school. And one time there was like this really bad snowstorm and we like left school early, went in the cab or whatever, and I'm like trying to get home. Left school probably at like 1 p.m., 12 p.m.,
Mm-hmm.
and did not get home until like 8 p.m. And I was like, there was no cell phones or anything out, so my mom was like bugging out, like no idea what was going
Yeah.
on, and
Yeah.
like I finally got home, and I'll never forget that day. It was just so weird, and like and then
Right.
I don't know. I have so many memories there. We used to go to the freaking park. That's where I learned to do the monkey bars. Like my mom used
No
to
way.
like double do
Learn
the
the monkey bars in Philly, son.
yeah. I learned the monkey bars in Philly, son.
I got roots in Philly.
Oh man, I learned how to skip a bar in
Yeah.
Philly too. Got my ass bars
Yeah.
in Philly, dude.
One
And
hand in
then
it, dude.
that's when my that's when my mom used to like
Got
we
my
used
first
to
calluses in Philly.
I remember going on the swings together too, and like she would like push me on the swings, and I have these memories of her like running under the swing, to push you high. Like,
Underdog. Yeah.
yeah, the underdog. That's what it
Yeah.
was. Yeah, that was the best, dude. Like we go to freaking Ben and Jerry's or some shit. And
Dang.
oh man, there was a lot of memories in Philly for me. I really loved that time in my life because I didn't know really what was going on either. I was too
Yeah.
young to like understand that. Oh, my family's all at home, and I just didn't even get it really. I remember there's
That's a lot. Dude, your mom, straight up, that's insane. You guys moved to Jersey during the week. That's crazy.
Philly, yeah,
Philly,
yeah,
sorry.
yeah, no, and then Jersey on the week. It was
That's
nuts,
intense.
and there's
Yeah.
4 other kids at home,
Yeah.
so like some of them, we had a really like an extremely fortunate life, all of us. But
Hmm.
like some of them, like at times, were like sort of raising themselves.
That's a whole family sacrifice right there for
It
you.
really is. It's super humbling at this point in my life to be able to look back at it because, like I said, I just was too young to understand everything,
Yeah.
and now it's like, holy shit! Like, I wonder if
That's,
some of my like family members resent me in any way, like
yeah.
because they did take away like the
It's gotta be
mom,
that must have been intense for your dad too, watching all the kids during the week.
and he didn't get home till like 6-7 o'clock some nights.
Yeah, that's wild.
So
Dang,
they had
his
like my brother
siblings probably
Ollie.
loved it, dude.
Oh, dude, my brother Ollie, who passed away, he used to freaking go to school, like ride his bike to school, come back, take the train a couple towns over to go work for my uncle,
Hmm.
and then take the train back to go to wrestling practice, and then
Hmm.
go home for dinner.
Hmm.
Like, and did it all himself, at
Yeah.
like 12 years old, 13 years old.
Yeah.
Which,
Dang.
like, there's kids doing way more than, but it's just, it's
No, it's a
crazy.
lot. A lot of
Yeah,
kids aren't doing that kind of
yeah,
level,
yeah,
but
yeah.
most
It's a
kids
lot.
don't do all that.
It is a lot.
My
It
kid
is.
would never do that. Calvin would never work. Maybe he'd ride his bike to baseball practice.
like Ollie was like that legit. Like I used to walk 10 miles to school.
Yeah.
Like
I've been
that.
working since I was 12.
Yeah, literally, dude. Like, oh man, makes me feel even worse about stealing that change jar.
Oh, dude, rest in peace, Joe, man.
Ugh.
Yeah, that's wild.
Joe.
Joe.
Ollie?
No, Ruffalo.
Oh, sorry. I just said
Yeah.
Ollie, so I was so
Oh yeah,
confused.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
all right, brings back
Oh
Joe.
yeah,
Yeah,
and
the
Ollie
rest.
too. Yeah.
Oh, well, but that brings me back. Joe, so I did this thing over the weekend. It was called Surfing for Vision. I don't know if I talked about it on here, but it was all these blind surfers, all these blind people got like it was this organization called one of those nonprofits.
Surfer
Can't
Light
remember
or something like that. Is it
no,
called?
it was called
No.
like Visual Foundation or something.
Oh, okay.
Um,
Oh, it's not. It wasn't surfing based. They just
no,
threw
no,
this
no,
event.
no. They
Okay.
just threw this event that they do every year, and it was my first time there, and it was freaking awesome. Like there was people that are blind, like old and young, that have never, some of them like probably never been in the ocean before.
Yeah.
And there was all these volunteers, like guides to guide you through the whole wave. So there
Yeah.
was like people would take you out on these big boards, and then they would push you into the wave, but also like boogie board the back of the surfboard so you don't nosedive. So like the
Oh
people
yeah, yeah, yeah.
wouldn't be scared, and then there was someone to catch them and catch the board. So like
Oh
it
dang.
was really it was really cool to see.
Yeah.
And then
Really well organized and
yeah, and because I've been surfing, they like let me just go out with a guide who would just like communicate with me,
yeah.
and that was sick because I learned a lot. But the whole event this year was dedicated to Joe Ruffalo
Oh,
because
okay.
last year he was the oldest one who's ever done it. He was like 67 years old surfing, dude, for the first time. Like
Paddling
terrifying.
out, dude.
Like, and there was the dude, like, I'm walking past these blind people on the beach, and they're talking to each other, like, just because, uh, just because we're doing it doesn't mean we don't have to be, doesn't mean we're not scared or something. Like, it was really funny.
That's funny.
It was so cool though to see people overcome that fear and stuff. But they were saying Joe last year was like aloha, like hang ten, like he was so funny, dude. Kook.
Joe, dude.
Love
Hey, when you die, do you want to be cremated or buried?
I think I want to be cremated.
Oh, you do? Okay.
I don't know though.
Yeah, I don't know either.
I don't know because something I do with my brother's ashes that is really kind of therapeutic for me. I've like so when he got cremated, my mom gave us each some of his ashes,
Mm-hmm.
and I have like a big jar of them. And
Yeah, you're telling me you take them
yeah, we
around.
take them around
Places.
the world and different places in the country, even just anywhere that feels
Yeah.
like sentimental, and just put them down.
Yeah, that's nice.
We put them in Machu Picchu. In like
Is that the one where it's like sacred or
it's sacred burial, dude.
Yeah, jeez.
That was gnarly.
You may or may not have done that. I don't know.
Yeah. That was I don't
I was
remember.
gonna ask you. You want to be buried with your cane, dude? If you're not cremated
I want to be cremated with a cane.
with a cane.
Yeah.
Well, it would just be.
Can you cremate a cane? No, it would just like melt.
It would just be like metal, because like
Yeah.
after you get cremated, like it's your ashes, and you'll see like all your like fillings and like
What if
you have like
cremate
metal.
my body and
You have
bury
metal
my
in your
cane?
body, like it'll all just be in there.
Oh shit! What if
Yeah.
I cremate my body and bury my cane?
I was thinking that. I hope I don't need it up there, dude.
I know.
Hope I get through. Fucking wake up and I'm still
Hopefully I
blind.
get to the gate
What?
and I'm like,
Yeah, man, you're blind. You're not getting
he's
that
like,
back.
he's like, God's like, here's what you've been missing. Like he just gives you your sight. He's like, sorry about that.
Yeah, sorry. I forgot to fix that before you came in. My bad. I got you.
He's like, I actually meant to do it a couple of years ago.
Yeah.
Oh man,
Dude, yeah.
that's great.
Buried with the cane, baby.
Buried with the cane, dude.
That's a
I
good.
want-
That's if we gotta start a metal band, dude. Buried with the cane.
That's like a punk rock band.
Yeah, dude.
Broken Canes.
Canes.
Two
Buried with
canes.
the cane, dude. Two canes. Shout out to two canes.
I know.
JB.
Oh, dude. So your boards,
Railboard's out.
railboards out.
When you hear this, the braille board is out.
Yes. Go to your local shop. Make sure they got it. Heckle them.
Yeah,
If they don't have
ask
it,
them.
ask
Tell
them
them.
why they didn't order it.
Because it's sold out, son. So
It's
you ain't
sold
getting
out
it.
of deluxe.
You don't got it, you ain't getting it.
It got sold out of deluxe in a hot beat.
Yeah, that's gonna be sick, dude. I can't wait to get. I just got my notification. I got some on the way right now. Probably a fat box, baby.
Oh, that's sick.
Roll them all.
I thought of this
Shred
good premise for a comedy bit. This blind guy on a skateboard. Just kidding.
What? How you're gonna keep going with that one, dude?
I know. I need a good comedy bit, dude.
You know when you're skating blind,
you're skating blind,
and you think you're
got
going
your cane.
straight, but then you're not. You know what I'm talking about, right?
It's like when you're drunk and you're trying to do the sober test. You think you're going straight.
Dude, that's the hardest thing to do as a blind person is go in a straight line.
I was thinking about that.
Whether you're swimming, walking, running, skating, anything, go in a straight line.
Hold stuff level?
Yeah, I'm getting better.
Why do you laugh
No,
like
it's hard.
that?
Liquids are really hard.
Dude, I cannot
I was walking with the
hold.
I was walking to strain I made lobster ravioli today for dinner, and I was walking with that freaking pot of hot water. I always get nervous. Like, oh my god, burn my little feet. It's hard to do though. Yeah, keep it like the hard one is like when I filled a dog bowl up because I have a big old bowl for my big dog. So I'm always spilling that crap everywhere.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Dude, I cannot. I don't know what it is. I'm incapable of holding something level.
Dude, I scolded just remembered this. On a skate trip at the Airbnb, the microwave was on top of the fridge, and I was making tea, but I was just microwaving the water because I didn't have a teapot. So I just microwave it, and I was talk about hard to level, reaching all the way up.
Oh, dude, no, forget about it.
Dude, I spilled water all on my hand, and I had straight blisters all like on the inside of my my thumb area.
Oh, no.
Oh, my God. Yeah.
That's a shitty one.
3rd degree, dude. 3rd degree. Those are 3rd degree for sure. That sucked.
3rd degree, dude.
3rd degree burns.
Oh, my God.
Yeah,
that's brutal. Yeah, no, even at buffets and shit, I just
holding the plate, yeah.
Dude, I can't do it.
If they're round, if they're tube sausages, they're rolling right off of your plate.
Dude, yes. I need like a bowl. Like can't we have bowls at buffets?
We need bowl, especially mixing my salad, dude. I need a bowl.
Oh, dude, game over for salad. I'll just push it away, dude. I need to eat it with my hand. Like
I just do it. Yeah, I got the thing.
I push the salad on my fork with my free hand.
I was talking about mixing in your dressing is a pain.
Oh, screw that. I
There's
also
always
can't eat
lettuce
a salad without a fork.
No.
I mean, without a bowl. Like, if I try and eat it off a plate, I'm pushing it all off.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Yeah.
Do you do that or no?
Yeah, it's hard, but I'm just using my fingers and my other hand to like guide.
That's what I do too. But then I'm like, everyone's staring at me. I'm disgusting.
In public, yeah, I'm a little less sad.
I try to do like real discreetly, like use the free hand, you know?
Yeah, just a little finger tap.
Yeah, little finger taps. You always gotta have the napkin handy though, because you gotta keep blotting it like by your fingers.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm a messy eater, dude. Dude, the kitchen, I can't cook something without getting something on the countertops. Guaranteed.
I'm the same way,
dude. Or a little bit spilled over the edge.
I can't get something into the other thing like without spilling. Like if it's like flour.
Yeah, there's always gonna be something.
Dude, it's impossible.
Either clean the kitchen. We're gonna have people over this weekend, and we clean the whole house. And I'm like, what do you want to make for dinner? She's like, you are not cooking. I can just clean this entire kitchen. So funny. Like, no.
Oh, I've definitely gotten that before too.
I ended up cooking anyway, so it was
What'd you make?
That lobster ravioli.
Oh yeah, lobster ravioli.
Then I sauteed like a whole container.
What was it? Frozen lobster ravioli?
Mushrooms. Yeah, it's like Costco.
Yeah.
Cheap stuff. It was good.
Me and Kirkman to sell canes.
We don't have any
Dan
groceries.
had a
I've been
Dan
so
had
broke, dude. We've been eating everything in the fridge, dude. Just like pinching pennies, just like cleaning it out though.
I
It feels
know
kind of
that.
good. I'm like, oh yeah, dude, we're doing good.
Yeah, because you're like, dude, this has been in here for like a year,
Not
frozen.
going out though. We're like using like, yeah, oh, I have a bunch of like meat in there that I've had in there for a minute.
Yeah.
Feels good to do that kind of, dude.
No, it does. And then you make
Being
more
more
room.
resourceful with,
You
oh,
realize how much you actually have.
dude, there's so
Like,
much.
that's the sick part. You're like, I've been like going out or ordering food thinking I had nothing, but
Right.
the amount of meals that are in this fridge and
Yeah.
freezer is like you could feed a whole village.
Oh yeah. Yeah. For sure, dude.
So be resourceful, people.
It does. Yeah. Helping me, yeah, create some new recipes too. It's good.
Yeah, exactly. My mom was always the best at that. Like
What do we
stuff
have?
that you think
Mixing
we were
something
gonna
together.
like throw away, she'd make a whole meal out of everything left over, or
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
and just anything in the kitchen. Like,
Yeah. Feels good. Feels good. Yeah, not eating out. I miss eating out though.
yeah,
Love eating out,
you
dude.
know, it's good. And then, see, I get in these like habits. I'll order out a lot, which I
Yeah.
don't like doing
Ordering.
because the food's never as good once it gets there.
Mm-hmm.
But then going out, I'll go out to eat a couple times, and then once I have that like homemade meal though, I'm like, oh, this is just so good.
So much better, dude.
Yeah, because you just know what's going into it. You cook it how you
Mm-hmm.
want it. But some days it's just priceless to have someone else just do
Yeah.
everything else and like
Oh
not
yeah.
have to worry about cleaning or.
And you guys got some nice restaurants out there, dude.
Yeah.
You have some like decent ones, but
Dude, this summer has been the most packed this town has ever been.
really, Jersey's been
Dude,
your town
it's
specifically.
sick. Yeah, like not in a good way. Like it's crazy. Like this used to be the hidden town, kind of like no one really knew about it, and it was
Yeah.
kind of super private. Now, like all this new money's coming in here, and like all these
Dang.
new like visitors and freaking vacation. It's becoming like vacation land, and
Oh, really?
but like for family type because it's not. There's no bars in the town, but there's bars you can walk to in neighboring towns.
Yeah.
But like, so it's like very family oriented, but like it is just slammed.
Yeah, it's good
Like
in bed.
I go outside and like these kids, like all these kids will recognize me from TikTok. I have to like walk around the back if I want to go in my house because I don't want people like knowing where I live. Like, and then I'm just like, dude, it gets overwhelming when there's a lot of people out there. You're like,
Yeah.
whoa, this never used to be like this.
Dude, even the city I grew up in, I remember driving and like no traffic. And now,
Yeah.
15, 20 years later, dude, there is like, it's like a tiny little town, Michigan, and now there's like literally traffic
It
at
feels
every
like a
I'm like,
city.
what is going on, dude?
No, things are changing. Like people
Gotta
are
move
buying up more
further
property.
out, dude.
Yeah, the properties are land is getting more like claustrophobic. Like even I saw yesterday, I was at the driving range, and the there used to be this old like 9-hole course there,
Hmm.
and they sold it, and now it's like they're making developments on it.
Oh, like a or something.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's just
Houses,
like come on, man. But,
gotta buy now,
changes
dude. You
changes
gotta buy
good.
now, dude. You gotta buy
Yeah,
now.
that's what I'm scared about. I need to buy a house. I need to
Yeah.
save.
If you
Save
want
your
one.
money, kids. Get
Want one.
Roth IRAs and shit.
Diversify your portfolio.
Yeah.
My Bitcoin and what else did I buy? Ethereum is still so down, dude.
Ethereum.
What is it? Ethereum?
Ethereum.
Ethereum? I don't even freaking care anymore. I'm just leaving it in there, dude. It's like
Yeah,
what-
that's I don't.
I bought like
get it.
$50 in like Ethereum.
I didn't have the time to like study all that shit.
Dude,
it's
it's
too
like-
much.
Dude, it's gone down every
Yeah,
single
well, it's
week
all-
since I
it's-
bought it.
It seems like it's all like dead right now anyway.
It is all dead. I don't know. Everyone keeps
I don't
saying,
know if
it'll
it's
come
gonna-
back up. I'm like, I don't know.
Yeah, but I don't know. I also don't mess with the stock market too much because I just don't understand it. If I studied it, I would like. If it's something I wanted to do, I'd really try and study it. But
Yeah. It's
other
interesting.
things, yeah, it is really interesting. It's crazy how some kids can be like so spot on with
Mhm.
stocks.
Everyone keeps saying recession, bro. I don't even know, dude. That's what everybody's saying.
That's what I
all the
keep hearing, too.
businesses,
Yeah.
everyone's freaking cutting back,
Inflation.
dude. I'm like, what? Why?
Yeah, prices are going up.
Good. I don't know what's gonna happen, dude.
Yeah. All I know is the more people coming in this town, the more prices are going up, and I don't like it. My bacon, egg, and cheese never used to be $7.50.
That's how it is here, dude. Michigan used to be dirt cheap, man.
Yeah,
Now it's
dude.
expensive to live here. It's like, what?
Crazy.
Used to be able to go to the bar and get a beer for $2.
$2.
Do that anymore.
Oh
Sucks.
man.
We just got to move further out, dude.
Well, that's it. Times are changing, and
Times are changing.
gotta go bull riding.
It's a good thing, yeah.
Time to go bull riding. You just gotta let it ride like the bulls.
Hang on as long as you can, dude.
Yeah. And watch out for your bulls on the bull.
If you get tossed off, dude, keep your head up.
Just keep...
Get back on.
All right, doggy.
Yep. Sick. Thanks,
All
everybody.
Right. Thank
All
you,
my
everyone.
eyes
Make
and
sure
ears.
you like and subscribe. Unlike, unsubscribe, leave horrible comments and
Yeah.
nasty reviews. And
Hit that subscribe
click
button.
those links.
Click the links. Help us out. It goes a long way. Thank you, eyes and ears. Yeah. Keep pushing.
One love.
Keep pushing, and one love from 4 Bad Eyes.